Hi there. We are live with a Wednesday StreamYard live stream. StreamYard is the tool we use to bring this show to you. And we've been offline for quite a while
We've been
with,
busy.
travel and clients asking for pretty much a version of what we're going to talk about today. So we are
Practice.
Dave and Laura Butler of Work Life Consulting, and we offer individualized and team and organizational customized programs to help with agility, help with communication. So, a little bit more about us, and we will be right back.
Oh yeah, we're in this together. We're in it together. We're in it together. If you get off track, I got your back. Remember. Oh yeah, we're in this together.
Listening to that guitar and that theme never gets old to me. I think that says a lot about what we do and how do we support the organizations we work with and the individuals who are looking for support as well.
Well,
How are you
one thing's
today?
for sure.
It's a big
One
day.
thing, one thing for sure. We do it together.
That's for sure. And today is, in spite of the fact that today is Dave's birthday, he finally caught up to me. We're having a live stream because I think this is what kind of floats our boat and be
Um,
able to talk to people and have a discussion. And today's discussion is one of the favorite topics in our world. Let me just put up the slides right away. And of course, the slides are a little off with this upload, but you'll get it. It's all agility. It's all rehearsal. But if we look at putting all the pieces together of what makes organizations tick and also what helps teams to step out of the box, be more agile, be more creative, is this formula. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
yeah, I mean, in the end, agility is the objective, but you can't be agile without practice. In our language, rehearsal is practice. Scrum is the type of team where we just pull together people at the last minute and say, you, and you, come here, help me, and jump
But
in.
I think when I introduce this, I always put this up for with one of our building team agility workshops, that this is the formula that we're going to be diving into. People look a little deer in the headlights. And I understand why. I mean, we're introducing, as far as human behavior goes, a Scrum concept, which has really for years been in the IT world.
Yeah.
But I think and Harvard Business Review has had articles about how the switch is now for human development and teamwork, the concept of Scrum. So, talk a little bit about what you know of Scrum in terms of people. And
Well, as opposed to having a group or a team that works together constantly together over and over again, which is a different kind of a team, a work team, somebody that's focused on a particular project for a long time. A scrum is more like a pickup sandlot baseball game. Hey, five guys come over here, you guys come over here, you're there, we're doing, you just put it together quickly and then go solve the problem. Once this problem is solved, disband, go back to doing other stuff. So that idea, and I remember in the old days, we used to also call it a tiger team. No idea why, but at IBM they called it a tiger team. That was the idea. Get a loose knit group of people together quickly. So hopefully they bring some expertise, stick them on a problem, get the problem solved, and then move on, rather than the same team over and over and over again. So that's why we say that the Scrum type of a team needs to have rehearsal, because they don't have any opportunity to practice. So if they practice a little bit, get together and they share other ideas, they practice communicating, they're more agile, more effective.
well, I think also it speaks to the opportunity to develop, because
Mm-hmm.
you'll see I have something in the the slide as we move forward, is a Scrum team is a group of individuals working together to deliver the requested committed product increments. And
Right.
so this, what's that?
So that's what I said, right?
Yeah, that's what you said. But I think you kind of look at it as like a juggler, throwing different balls up in the air. You catch them, you go. Some may drop, you pick them up again, you continue on. And I think it's what I love about this is let's say you were the leader of a team, and there was a commitment that was promised that needed to be delivered really quickly. It's all it's the Stephen Covey at the speed of trust.
Yeah, that's right. Speed of trust, and it's also tends to be very improvisational. We don't come in with all the answers. We come in, we come together, we see what the problem is, come up with ideas, and then find some solutions.
But the way that team comes together, it could be a variety of ways that we form the group, the team. Because I say it's a group or team because this may be a group of individuals who have never worked before. The leader says, we have to deliver this particular product to the client and by the next 4 weeks, when usually we deliver this over a 4-month period, not 4 weeks.
Right.
So who's interested? And it's surprising when you would sometimes you assume a certain group is going to be the ones to do that. Yeah. But sometimes it's a totally different group of a collection of people who are interested. They've had they've heard about it. They have a little bit of experience. They want to learn. So they come together and form the group. To me, there isn't any way better to develop without knowing all the answers, and have the leader at the speed of trust that it will get done.
And for the people that work there to be able to have the overall feeling of trust, that it's all right to fail. I mean, if we can't fail, how are we going to learn? We're going to try this, we'll try this, we'll try this. It's more like an innovation team in a way that allows them to make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and move on. And that way you perfect each time that you work on a different project. But it's always a different group of people. It's always like cross-functional, and it's not the same people working together. It's different people coming together to solve a unique problem. And then they disband and they go back to their other situations.
What's Amy Edmondson's new book?
Making the right kind of wrong.
So that's what this is about.
Don't make stupid mistakes, but make mistakes when you're trying to find something. That's the right kind of mistake.
And that's speed of trust.
Yeah, from it we'll be able to learn. But trust has a lot to do with knowing I'm not going to be blamed. I'm not going to be attacked. I've got the support that I need from others to be able to even step out on the ice and make the mistake.
Well, the other thing is that there's a level of norming, storming, forming that has to take place. And that's what this is all about. So it's rehearsals or sprints is what this is. And this is the adapted from Pat Lencioni's work, the 5 dysfunctions. We call this the 5 attributes. And so the team has to go through these steps. You can't just go to results right out of the gate. You have to rehearse. You have to, what does it look like for us to trust each other? How do we argue and kind of debate in an effective way, collaboratively? What are we committing to? What's the goal? What do we need to accomplish? What's the purpose? And how are we going to hold each other accountable? So those have to be level set and understood before the team can even open up the doors to work.
Right.
But it's got to be, hopefully it's multidisciplinary, because you can't have the same department, to your point, cross-functional.
They're not going to stay together. The point that we try and make is, as you work through this, each time you do each iteration of a rehearsal, everybody gets a chance to learn and grow. To your point, Laura, I get a chance to volunteer for this team or that team or this team. And then over the course of time, we start building a wider swath of trust. It becomes more the norm for us to be able to have collaborative conflict. We understand what we're committing to, short-term, long-term. And ultimately, we also understand how I hold myself accountable. What am I accountable for? I know what the expectations are. We don't have to redo the whole pyramid every time if we've already been through it. Even though it's with different people, we can quickly sort of refocus ourselves on these 5 attributes and then jump into the problem. That's the key.
But I think that's the answer to what is rehearsal. What does it look like? You've got to set the stage with those concepts in mind before you can get to the sprint.
Right.
Or you can run out of the gate.
Run the wrong way.
And I like the idea of each team learns a little bit about the other specialization. So one of my clients has built a whole team formation around collaborative teams, collaborative leadership. So, and that's a form of Scrum.
Right. Rather than a functional team, it's a mixed team.
Right.
And they practice and practice and practice over and over again in different groups, different times. Eventually, you start building the overall group's agility to be able to come together quickly and solve the problem.
So agility is the goal. So the ability to operate well in any role, sort of like a systems thinking kind of approach. I understand what I do affects this, and what I don't do affects that. To be able to have a broader scope of understanding of the concepts that need to take place.
Right.
And I love this graphic because I think this says it all. There's a, you can't just run with it, but you got to have a timeline. You got to recharge yourself, let alone, the rest of the team.
Sure.
And then, the emotional mastery that we talk about, the, moving forward, what's the precedent? How do we go ahead? What's innovation? What are we doing that's different? And what do we, what do we do to get to the finish line? But you can also, it's where the Berkman ties in so beautifully with this concept is you see from the perspectives of the other roles.
Right.
Not just mine.
And you're hungry for that. You want the difference. You
Yeah.
open yourself up to it. It's not something I'm not looking to try and prove that I got the answer.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is get as much input as possible from different perspectives to allow me to overcome my own blind spots. Everybody's got blind spots. I prefer it one way, you prefer it another way. Well, if I can understand where you're coming from, I can bend and blend at the beginning. I don't have to wait until we got a problem.
Right. So I think I love the formula. And it, talking about it for 15 minutes here is, is not solving the whole way you go about it, but it gives you some keys, and all of it is not meant to be out of the gate perfection. It's never perfect. That's the whole point of this. It's how do we get to the finish line? And clients that we've done this with who have actually put this into practice, it's remarkable to see how each member, and there are different roles in the Scrum team as well. And one's the leader, so there are different positions that you sort of fill and you appoint as you build the team. But I love it if it's done from the initial steps, if it's done with the intent of we're inviting people, we're not appointing people.
Right. Opportunities for people to step up, speak up, stand up, be a part of what's going on.
Right.
We're willing to put themselves out there and give it a try.
Right.
That's the essence of learning, right?
Absolutely. So I think that's a good way to start with this. I mean, what's that?
Good job on the slides.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's always a little, you never know how it's going to show up in this format, but
it's a good Scrum slide.
Yeah. Most of it came across. I think everybody gets the point. Just give it a shot. That's what I think is so valuable. Give it a try, and let us know how you do with it, because it's so interesting to me to sometimes, as I said, people remain in the like deer in the headlights, but and I think it's a significant mind shift in how teams can operate.
But once you try it, once you get a little bit used to it, you start getting a habit of it almost. It doesn't feel so uncomfortable.
Right.
It takes a while for people to get to the point like, you want me to do this and I don't have the answers and I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, we invite that discomfort because from that, you're going to ask the right questions. You're going to get curious. You're going to be creative. You're going to help us to take initiative and find better ways to do the things that we're doing.
Well, I think it's also, and one final statement I have about this before we close out. It's people always ask me who have worked with us with the Berkman, how do I keep the Berkman alive?
Mhm.
This is a perfect way.
Mhm.
Using the Berkman to align teams.
Mhm.
It's like with your own map, like the red, green, blue, yellow layout, is go around to colleagues. Where are you on here? Oh, great.
Mhm.
You're different. Come,
Yeah, help
come
me
on,
out here. Yeah, come on.
let's
I
go.
need, I need your help. I need your help. And
You know,
also to offer help.
yeah,
If somebody needs a green, come on over and talk to me. I'll help you with green all day long. You
yeah.
don't come to me and ask me for yellow help.
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't work. I
For
could
those
use some yellow
who know,
help.
yellow is details, numbers, metrics.
Really,
No, don't look at either one of us
really, really.
for that. But I would be happy to recruit somebody to help me in that category. Anything you want to close out with, Dave?
I don't think so, Laura. I think we pretty much touched on it. I think the thing to keep in mind is that this agility is there for a reason. We need agility because of the velocity of change is going so fast. Change is happening all around us. Things happen on a daily basis, as we just saw, politically. Things can happen and change the whole landscape. You can't afford to be caught looking. You're going to be ready to be able to jump in and try something different and adapt and be agile to whatever it is that's coming down the pike.
Well, with that said, I'm glad you brought that up because there's always a feeling of wanting to mention the a terrible situation,
Yeah.
and whatever anybody can do so far away, but I think a lot of it is to just keep the mindset positive and without the
Look for opportunities.
yeah.
Look for opportunities to find ways to come together, not find ways to be further apart. It's
Exactly.
easy to say, there's nobody here with a gun to my head. But, regardless of the situation, I think if we can start learning to not react and do in kind, we have to be kind in how we respond and
Well,
say,
it's a
wait a
perfect
minute.
way to close out today with our friend Elliot Lewis, because in spite of where we are in the world, we are in this together. Thanks for
That's,
listening.
that's for sure.